Hello students, this is Tarannum Jahan and I hope you people are doing well. I'm here again with you all people to start the new chapter from history. So let's begin the new chapter from history. So here the chapter name from your history is Nazism and the Rise of Hitler. This is a chapter 3 for the class 9th. Under this chapter, we are going to discuss the various contents like the birth of Weimar Republic, political radicalism and economic crisis, the year of depression. Then we'll discuss the introduction of Hitler. Then Hitler coming to the power, the destruction of the democracy when the Hitler is coming to the power, reconstruction done by Hitler, the Nazis overview, Hitler's behavior with the undesirable, youth in the Nazis' rule, the Nazi cult of motherhood, and the art of propaganda. So, these are the contents which we are going to discuss in detail in the chapter. So, your chapter begins with the Helmut's family discussion where they are discussing about committing the suicide because when the Nazism, that the power of the Hitler came to an end, each and every one, instead of surrendering themselves, they thought of killing themselves because they knew that what exactly the people are going to do with them after they get to know about their rule, about their the way they have killed many of the people, the racism they have supported during the period of Nazism. So they knew it very well that how the people are going to kill them. So it's better, in order to die in the hands of the people, it is better to suicide yourself and have a peaceful death. So these family members, they were discussing about how they are going to kill themselves, whether they'll have a poison in a food, or whether they'll go just out, they'll enjoy, and after coming home let us have a consumer poison and we'll kill ourselves, whether we'll kill only ourselves or we should kill our children's even. So these were the discussion which was going on in the Helmut's family. So now, who is Helmut? Helmut was a German boy. His father was a prominent physician. He was working as a prominent physician under the Hitler's rule. And if you see in your textbook, you can see the Helmut's father with Hitler. So these people, they were very deliberate with this fight, whether the time had come to an end. They are having a discussion that whether now the time has come in order to kill ourselves and the entire family, because now the rule of the Hitler has come to an end. So the family, or he's thinking that whether the family should commit a suicide or he should alone commit a suicide, because he is the only one person who has done each and everything towards the order of the Hitler. So whether I should kill my family or I should kill alone by myself. So he said to his wife about his fear of revenge, because he knows very well that even if I kill myself, the people are going to take the revenge on my family, because we have never had a mercy on anyone. So why these people will have a mercy on my family? So he clearly said everything to his wife, that the people will definitely take a revenge on you all people. So now the Allies will do us what we did to them, how we have killed them. So they are definitely, these people are going to do the same thing with us, the Jews, the Allied powers with whom we have fought, with whom we were very we have not done any mercy to them. So they will definitely do the same with us too. So the whole family, after discussing this, they committed suicide. So Helmut's father was a Nazi and the supporter of Adolf Hitler. So this is the story which begins, the chapter begins with the story of Helmut. So now, what exactly happened? Why these people committed suicide? What exactly Adolf Hitler has done? What exactly happened in Germany? What were the economic crises? What led to them in order to commit suicide? Why these people are discussing so and so things? So let us see the complete chapter in order to understand this, the Helmut story. Birth of the Weimar Republic. As you all know that, who was Hitler? I think you people know who was Hitler. And he was a person who was responsible for the World War II. So in the 20th century, Germany was one of the powerful kingdom. During the period of World War I, which happened between the two powers, that is the Central Power and the Allied Power, that is nothing but the Germany and Austria, which were coming under the Central Power. The Allied Powers were the France, England and Russia. Everyone thought that this war will end up very soon, but it took 4 years, that is from 1914 to 1918. Due to the war, all the resources of Europe was ending. During that period, Germany conquered France and Belgium. But in 1917, when USA entered the war from the side of Allied power, then the Central Power lost the war in 1918. And due to the loss, there was an end to the World War I. But what happened? After losing the war, the king of the Germany gave up the kingdom of Germany. With this, the parliamentary party got the chance of changing the form of government, that is, to bring the government over here rather than having a monarchical rule. Now they wanted to have a government rule. So they created a Weimar. Weimar is a name of the place where the National Assembly was created, with the federal structure and the democratic constitution for the Germany. Now what is federal? Two-tier government, that is state and the central government. And what is democratic? Where the people select their own government. So now after the formation of the democratic constitution, people of the Germany elected a deputies of German parliaments. Now German parliament is also called as Riksdag. They were also called as Weimar Republic too. Now, who are these deputies over here? Deputies is nothing but the MPs, the members of the parliament, which we call it as India. So, here in Germany, they call them as deputies. So, they have selected the deputies ministers, and this Weimar Republic is also called as the Riksdag. So, now let us see what exactly happened. After the creation of the Weimar Republic, what exactly took place? On 28th June, that is 1919, after the World War I ended up, the Versailles. At Versailles is the name of place. The Allies and the Germany, they signed a peace treaty over there. See, after every war, they have to sign a peace treaty that this thing will never continue again and we are not going to fight anymore. So there should be a peace treaty among the countries, those who are having a war. So during that period, even the Allied power and the Germany, they signed a peace treaty. Where? At Versailles. Versailles is the name of place. So this treaty was in the favor of Allied power. Now how this treaty was under the favor of Allied power? They thought that the Germany signed this treaty, but they were not happy. The Germany, they have signed this treaty because it is a peace treaty and it has to be signed. And Germany knew that it was all his fault in order to enter into the war and destroying all the resources. So the Germany even signed the treaty, but they were not happy in signing this treaty because this treaty was humiliating one. Now why it was an humiliating one? The Treaty of Versailles, let's see. According to this treaty, Germany with the World War I had spoiled all the resources of the Allied powers. Now, Allied powers, I have told you which all the countries have been there in the Allied powers, due to which they have to repay them back in order to make their livelihood normal, because Germany is the main person who has already destroyed the resources of the Allied powers. So, they said that now you have to give 13% of your territory of Germany. In order to make their livelihood, now they will conquer 13% of the territory of Germany and 75% of the iron and 26% of the coal was taken by France, Poland, Denmark and Lithuania. Germany was demilitarized. Their military power was reduced, which means that they have lessened the military power of Germany. So that is the reason why it is called as this treaty was humiliating towards Germany. That is the reason why the Germany was not happy when they were signing this treaty. The Allied armies, they even occupied the resources of the rich Rhineland. The Rhineland is very rich in resources, very much green. So it is having an abundance of the resources which was occupied by the Allied forces. So due to this war, whatever the losses have been made by the Germany has to be repent by this treaty by the Germany, and they have paid around 6 billion euros as a compensation to the Allied powers. So this is why we say that this treaty was a humiliating one towards Germany. Political radicalism and economic crisis, or you can even say that the impact of hyperinflation on Germany. Now what happened after signing up of this treaty? After signing this treaty, because of the Weimar government, they signed this treaty with the Allied country. The people of the Germany, they started hating the Weimar government. This Weimar government was hated by the people just because they have signed this treaty, which was humiliating one, because much of the resources from the Rhineland of the Germany has been taken up by the Allied power. So now what exactly happened? The Weimar government became very weak and broken because even the people are not supporting them. But the Weimar government, no other choice. They were not having any other choice in order to accept this all have been done by the monarchical rule, because this was done by the government. During that period when the war was happening, during that period, the Germany was under the rule of monarchy. And now after the formation of the Weimar Republic, when they went and they signed this treaty, they could not do anything, because all these things were done by the monarchical rule, and they have to simply silently accept whatever the things have been happening. So they have to sign this treaty. Though it was humiliating one, because much of the resources, much of the things were taken away by the Allied power from the Germany on the basis of this treaty. So now the people, even they started hating the this Weimar Republic. They said that instead of signing up this treaty, you must have had a war with them. Why you people have given everything to this Allied power? And they started calling them the Nuremberg Criminals, because this treaty was signed during the period of November. That is the reason why the people, they started calling them as a Nuremberg Criminals. So these criminals are none other than the German leaders who have signed the peace treaty. So they believe that the Germany opponents, that have, even during that, they would have done much better as they were powerful. The people, they thought that the German people were much powerful even after the war, even after so much of the resources have been lost, though they were suffering a lot, but still our military was very strong enough. Instead of signing that treaty, they must have opposed it, and they must have had a war with this Allied power. But rather than having a power, these people, they went and they have signed this treaty and gave all the resources, much of the territory, to the Allied power. So that is the reason why the people were angry on the Weimar Republic. So this treaty was signed in November 1918. That is the reason why these people were called as the Nuremberg Criminals. Now, how the hyperinflation even had an impact on the German. Now, even after democracy, problems of Germany did not end it. Then in 1923, there was a hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is nothing but the sudden rise of the prices. Now, how it affected the Germany, or you can say that the impact of hyperinflation in the Germany, as repaying of war loans, they have to do it in a gold, because of which the reserve of gold of Germany was ending up. France occupied the main industrial area of the Germany in Ruhr, and Germany even started printing more and more paper money, that is currency, because of which the currency of Germany lost its importance. See, if you have more currency than your gold reserve, then definitely the currency goes down. So the same thing the Germany did. They were ending up with the gold reserve, but they started printing up the money. The gold reserve should be equivalent to the printed money which is there in your country. Here their gold reserves is ending and they are printing more money. They will lose the currency. That is, the points of the currency will be decreasing. So here the same thing happened with the Germany. Even they started printing the more money, that is currency, because of which the currency of the Germany lost its importance. So how it lost its importance? In April, 1 US dollar was equivalent to 24,000 marks of Germany. Germany's money is called as marks. So here 24,000 marks is equivalent to 1 US dollar. So this is what the importance of the marks of Germany is. So by July, 1 US dollar was equivalent to 3,50,000, and by August it was around 46,21,000 marks. That means 1 US dollar was equivalent to 46,21,000. So by December, 1 US dollar was equivalent to 10 crores of marks of Germany. So this is how the importance of the Germany currency was going down, because of which the Germany was facing the hyperinflation, the sudden rises of the prices. Each and everything was rose, like one small quantity of any of the thing, if you people are purchasing, you have to pay thousands of rupees in order to get that simple products even. So that is the reason why we call it as an hyperinflation period during that period. Then again the USA came for a help during that period, because here the Germany was facing a lot of problem. The currency has went towards 10 crores. 1 US dollar is equivalent to 10 crores. It is like very difficult for the Germany in order to survive in such a condition. Then again the US came for a help and they adopted the Dawes Plan. Now what is Dawes Plan? I'll explain you this. So this is what is called as an hyperinflation. Now what is Dawes Plan? This plan was introduced in 1924 by Charles Gates Dawes. That is the reason why on his name this plan name was called as Dawes Plan. Now what is actually this plan is? According to this plan, the USA will lend money to Germany. Then Germany builds the economy by using the increased taxes to repay the amount to the France. Then France will pay back its war loans to America and import American goods, and America will pay back its debt using its own money. So this was actually a Dawes Plan, where there was a circular of money, where even the Germany can have a benefit, France can have a benefit, more benefit has been done by USA. So the main aim of this plan was, it was an agreement between the Allied power and Germany in order to make the things easier for the Germany to pay their debts. But though the Germany suffered a very great economic depression in 1929, though this Dawes Plan was introduced in 1924, but even after this plan in 1929, Germany suffered a great economic depression. Now what was that great economic depression? Let's see. The Great Economic Depression, which occurred in 1929. Now how this was actually suffered by, this economic depression was actually suffered by the USA. But why? How? What exactly happened? Why the USA is suffering with a great economic depression? Let's see. All the industries of the Germany was running on the loans that were provided by the USA. As we have seen in the Dawes Plan, that USA is providing the loans to the Germany so that they can have a smooth running of the economy. With that, with smooth running, they can hire the high taxes. With that taxes amount, they can pay back to the France, and the France will definitely pay the debt to the USA. In that way, it was a triangular shape of paying the debts of each other. But now, what exactly happened over here in USA is all the loans were taken away. As the world largest, now the USA is not at all providing any loans to any of the country. What exactly happened with the USA is, suddenly the Wall Street Exchange, one of the biggest stock exchange of the USA, got crashed. crashed means all the shares prices got down and they were decreasing so rapidly that they may come to the zero even. So you can say that the stock exchange market was coming to the was completely crashed. All the share prices were on the 0 points, because of which the people they started selling their shares. So within a one day they sold 13 millions of shares on 24th October. Many of the people they started selling their shares because it's better to get something than nothing. So here when the prices of the shares were coming down, the people they were in a panic and they started selling off all their shares in the whatever the rate is coming to them. So in that case, within a one day, they sold at least around 13 millions of shares. From this date, the economic depression was suffered by USA. Now the income it got decreased, factories were closed, export was completely down. People started collecting their money from the market. Now whoever the people they were doing the business in the market, now they started collecting the money from the market. They got panic now. Now what exactly is going to happen? Don't know that we should have our money in our hands. So the people they started collecting the money from the market. So these everything this all the things what all we have discussed is been happening in USA. The people are standing with the slogans that we want to do work but we are not finding a work, we are willing to do but no work. So here the case was that the people are were became jobless over there. So the effect on the Germany, this for sure will affect the Germany too, because the loans which have been provided by the USA is completely stopped. So when these all things we are going to be stopped, this will definitely affect the Germany to do. Now how the Germany was facing? Here the Germany was facing in the same way like how the USA was facing. Economy of the Germany was completely down. Industrial production decreased rapidly and the production was only 40% in Germany during that period because the loans which were coming from the USA have been stopped. People lost their job. Those who were working was paid very low wages. Unemployment increased to 6 millions. Crime rate increased. People were worried as the value of their savings were decreasing as the currency value is decreasing. So many of the small businessmen like these self-employed persons, retailers, everyone they lost their job. They became either working class or an unemployed people. Even the prices of the crops even decreased because of which they were not able to meet their basic needs too. So this is how the depression which was faced by the USA also affected the Germany too. Introduction to the Hitler now. See, now you have seen the Great Depression, hyperinflation, which was suffered by the Germany. Now Weimar Republic, after all these crises, this party was unstable now. Now whenever there is an instability in the government, there are the chances for the dictatorship in the country. So people became hopeless and they lost trust on democracy because they were not able to solve the problems of the German people. So then rise the dictatorship. Now who comes to rescue these people is Hitler. Hitler, he was born in 1889 in Austria. He was from the very poor family and have seen a lot of crises during his childhood. He was a motivational speaker. So now let's see how the rise of Hitler has taken place in Germany. Hitler's rise to power. During the World War I, Hitler joined the army and he was one of the best soldiers honored by many bravery medals. In 1919, he joined the group named German Workers' Party. Later, he became the head of the group and renamed it as National Socialist German Workers' Party. After this, everyone became familiar with this party by the name called Nazi Party. During the period of 1928, Naazy could not get the support of the people. He just got 2.6% of the votes in German party. The Great Economic Depression was a period which changed the destiny of Nazi party. During that, people were very much angry on the democratic government, and the propaganda which was brought by Nazi party in front of the Germans was appreciated, and they thought that this party will definitely do something for the Germans. So Nazi became very popular among the people, and in 1932 Nazi got 37% of votes in German parliament, and they became the largest party. Hitler was one of the good speaker because of the words spoken by him was appreciated among the Germans, and they got the support from all the people. He promised the German people that he will bring good future for the Germans and even will take the revenge of the Treaty of Versailles and will provide employment to the unemployed people. He also promised that he will remove the foreign influence from the German. That is nothing but indirectly was saying about the USA. Among the people, he was a savior. The people thought that he is one of the person who was sent by the God in order to help them, in order to get out of this crisis. So when Hitler came into the power, he removed the democracy and he brought the dictatorship in Germany. Destruction of democracy. Now when Hitler came to the power, the first thing he did was to destroy the democracy from Germany. Now how did Hitler destroy the democracy from Germany? On 30th Jan 1933, Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany. He was made by Hindenburg. After getting the power, Hitler tried to remove democracy. Now how he tried to remove democracy? Suddenly in 1933, that is on February 1933, German parliament got on fire. That is, it got burned suddenly. And this helped a lot to the Hitler because all the papers, whatever was there in the German parliament was completely destroyed due to this fire. And now after this, the Hitler on 28th Feb 1933, he ordered a fire decree. Now what is fire decree? This means that he suspended all the civil rights. Now what are those civil rights? The freedom of press, expression, speech and assembly. All these civil rights were suspended by Hitler, which was guaranteed by the Weimar Constitution. On 3rd March, Enabling Act was passed. With this, dictatorship got established, and all the powers are now vested in the hands of Hitler. Now he banned all the political parties except Nazi party. Economy, media, everything was conquered by Hitler now. So this is how we say that the destruction of the democracy was done by Hitler when Hitler came to the power. Reconstruction by Hitler. Now Hitler, he wanted to stabilize the economy of the Germany, for which he needed well-educated person. So he appointed Hjalmar Sachs. Now he was the great economist. He came up with the idea of full production and full employment. He said that we should make such a luxurious car which will help us in the transportation, and because of the luxurious it will have more demand too. With this we may have good import and export to this car. Now this car is called as Volkswagen car. But Hitler did not like this idea because it required much finance. He said we should concentrate more on industries. So in 1933, he cancelled the Membership League of Nations, that is just like the UN organization. Then in 1936, Germany conquered Rhineland and even the countries which were speaking German language. And in 1938, Austria and Germany, they became friends. The Nazis' ideology. According to the Nazi ideology, he believes in the set of rules and practices. According to their ideology, there was no equality between the people, but only a racial hierarchy. The argument of Nazi was simple. The strongest race will survive and the weak will perish. Only Aryans were the finest race according to him, and the Jews and all the other races were the undesirable or the most worst people for the Hitler. And under his rule, Jews were the worst sufferers in the Germany. Youth in Nazi's Germany. Hitler felt that a strong Nazi society could be established by teaching Nazi's ideology to the children. All schools were given German teachers. Children were divided into two groups, desirable and undesirable. Textbooks were rewritten. Functions of sports in the schools was to nurture the spirit of violence and aggression. 10-year-old had to enter a junk walk. At 14, all boys joined Hitler Youth. They joined the labor service by the age of 18. So this is how the youth, the Nazis, he loves the youth and they want them to be taught only the Nazis ideology, only the good deeds of the Nazis should be told to them in front of them, only good deeds of the Nazis should be known to them. So he said that only they must know about the Nazi. They should explain them properly about the propaganda of Nazi, portray Nazi with the good deeds in front of the Aryans, so that as the youth in a near future they will support them. And always Hitler wanted the Aryans to have a good education in every field. So in this way he always wanted the youth to come forward, but only Aryans, that is desirable and undesirable, and the undesirable comes the Jews and the other desirable people. But here the desirable one comes only the Aryan people, and he always wanted that only good deeds and the propaganda should be known to them. All they should know the party very frequently and they should join the party. So here, as you know, that at the 14 all the boys they joined the Hitler's Youth, and after that by 18 they start giving the labor services to these Hitler's Youth. The Nazi cult of motherhood. In Nazi Germany, children were told that women were different from men. Boys were taught to be aggressive, masculine, and steel hearted, and the girls were told to become good mother and a rare, pure blooded Aryan children. Girls had to maintain the purity of the race, distance from Jews, look after their home, and teach their children the Nazis' values. But all mothers were not treated equally. Honors of crosses were awarded to those who encouraged women to produce more children. Bronze cross for 4 children, silver for 6, and gold for 8 or more. Women who maintained contact with Jews, Poles, and Russians were paraded through the town with shaved heads, blackened their faces, and a placard hanging around their neck announcing that I have sullied the honor of the nation. So, this is how the women were treated by the Nazis people. The art of propaganda. Nazi never used the words like kill or a murder in their official communication, Rather, they used to use the words like the mass killings were termed as special treatments. Whenever he has to give the punishment called as you have to kill them, so he used as to provide them the special treatment. And final solution, he always used to use the word called final solutions for the Jews. And euthanasia was a word used for the disabled person. Selections and disinfections. Now, evacuation, which was given by the this means the deporting population to the gas chamber. There were one more word which was used by the Nazism was evacuation. That means that the people to whom the evacuation has been given, that has to be deported to the gas chamber, where they are being killed by the giving them the gases are being released through the pipes in the chamber, closed chamber. With that, they are going to die with the breathing problem. So here the Nazis ideology, this began to spread everywhere through the various means like images, films, radios, posters, slogans, etc. And many of the people, they believe that this Nazism will bring the prosperity, but many even oppose this. Many liked it, many opposed it. So this was the art of propaganda, where the Hitler used different words in order to give the special punishments to the people which have been treated by the Hitler in a special way. Ordinary people and the crime against humanity. Ordinary people was quite normal with the Hitler. They felt that Hitler is doing good for the Germany. Even the killing of the Jews is better decision because they may come against him anytime. So everything is done for our benefits. But Jews were not happy with Hitler. They were suffering very badly under his rule. Knowledge about the Holocaust. After the war ended, Nazi practices trickled out Germany, which was defeated. World came to know about the horror suffered by the Jews and the other undesirable people. Jews wanted the world to remember the sufferings they had endured during the Nazis' killing operations, which was called as Holocaust. When the war seemed lost, the Nazis' leadership, they distributed petrol to its functionaries so that they can destroy all the incriminating evidences that are available in the offices, which is also called as an Holocaust.